Today, everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat. Here today, we're Baruch Hashem, we're in Uman. Wow. What a trip. What a trip. What a trip. You know, I was thinking, I was just talking to David before, we were saying, we were talking yesterday about the on the M life, right?
Yeah.
The idea, right, that I rule, who rules, right? So all the things on the trip were actually upside down.
Yeah.
We got to the airport, and we're riding around to find a parking spot. We couldn't get a parking spot.
Yeah.
Normally you find a parking spot. We get to the ticket counter, right? And we had this whole balagan. Remember, you were there,
Yeah.
right? We had that big balagan going on again. The police called this, and they're yelling. Things that are supposed to go normal didn't go normal.
Yeah.
But then when we came on the border. It's supposed to be a big line. This and that goes okay.
Yeah.
That went Baruch Hashem amazing, right?
Yeah. You're right.
Both of them, even with the Argentinian passport, they're all right. It was but 10 minutes later, it was okay.
Yeah.
It was okay. Could have been
Worse. Yeah.
No, so you see everything. It's we have to rely on Hashem and let Him do what He's doing because He has it all worked out.
It is.
And the Rebbe always wants to test us, see if we understand that.
Yeah.
No, so the normal things were upside down, and the things that could have been crazy, they were okay.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Okay, so we're learning this beautiful concept of the anava and the gaiva, right? The arrogance and humility, right? The whole importance. And we said, and we're learning, okay, everyone, we're in Likutey Halachos Tefillin, Halachos Vav, we're in the middle of Lamed Aleph, 31. So we were learning this concept yesterday of Yetziat Mitzrayim, right, going out of Egypt. We say going out of Egypt is life, right? Mitzrayim is death, right? Because again, your mind is enslaved. Your mind is enslaved. I can't do anything. I'm stuck. I'm in bondage. I'm stuck, right? But we got out of Mitzrayim. That gave us life. That gave us the right. Amazing, right? Okay. Aval anava amitis bechinas tchias hamesim. True anava, true humility is really tchiat hamesim. Why? Because if a person is arrogant, he's not connected to Hashem. He's not connected to the Torah because he can't learn Torah. He can't speak to Hashem. He can't do it because it's all him.
Yeah.
Anam life, right?
Yeah.
Right, that's gaiva.
Yeah.
That's true arrogance. Is that right?
Yeah.
And, okay, so but when you get out of that, the opposite is tchiat hamesim, is the resurrection of the dead. Right, that's really coming from death, coming to life. Unbelievable. You can only get that if you accept the Torah through Kabbalah Satorah.
Yeah.
So when we came out of Mitzrayim, we said yesterday it wasn't in order. Right, Hashem took us out, but we weren't really worthy to go out, but He just took us out. But really, we had to get to Kabbalah Satorah. That was the whole point, to get to Har Sinai, Kabbalah Satorah.
Yeah.
K'moshe kosel b'Torah now. Shedaika al yedei chidusha yubiura haTorah she'em bechinas matan Torah zoichin liyira oy zu busha. When you come to Yiras Hashem, right? That is through Matan Torah. You come to Yiras Hashem, fearing God, right? Fearing God is busha, is embarrassing, right? Because again, when you recognize how Hashem gives us everything, so nice, and so good to us all the time. We make the blessings in the morning, right? Hashem opened our eyes. He let us move. He lets us stand. He lets us walk. He gives us shoe. Wow, look at all these things. Unbelievable. When we come to that, we come to feel the gratitude to Hashem. And then we start to fear Hashem and have love at the same time.
Yep.
Ad Hashem is baishin afilu lasais mitzvah. A person even feels embarrassed to do the mitzvah. Wow, me? I can be so granted to be able to do a mitzvah that he feels. Ish kamaini, I'm so low. I'm such a low person, and Hashem will still let me do a mitzvah. It's unbelievable to think like that, right?
Sure.
I'm such a low person, but Hashem will still let me do the mitzvah. Wow. But that's amazing, because when we realize that it's such a privilege, it's a privilege to do a mitzvah. Isn't it a privilege? People look at it, I think, as an obligation. It's a burden.
Yeah.
No, but here we're looking at it a different way. When a person is humble, he realizes, wow, me, Hashem, you let me do this mitzvah? It's such a privilege.
Yeah.
It's such a different way to live. It's such a different way to look at the mitzvah, to appreciate the mitzvah. When you realize it's a privilege, not a burden, a chore. Right? People go to daven, they put on the tefillin. It's a chore. I have to get rid of a checklist, right?
Yeah.
Check. I did it. Okay, put on my tefillin. I put on the tefillin. They went to the mail. No, but was there any appreciation?
Yeah.
Amazing.
You know, Chaim, even in the liturgy, it says you burden us with blessing. You know,
Yeah.
you burden us with blessing. But the burden is not a hard burden.
No, the burden with blessing. Hashem gives us so much blessing,
Right.
it becomes a burden for us. No, the blessing becomes a burden. The blessing, you have so much.
Not the mitzvah.
Right, they say you have so much blessing until you say die. It's enough. Die. It's enough. So much. It's overflowing with blessing. But we really have that.
Yeah.
But the question is, do we recognize it? That's the question. We get so involved in the small things around us all the time that we forget the main picture. It's unbelievable, really. So, but when we work on the humility, Rav Nosson is teaching us. When we work on that humility, all we're doing is we're really recognizing everything. We come to recognize everything. We come to appreciate HaKadosh Baruch Hu in a new way. Wow.
How is blessing the burden?
No. Because you have so much blessing that you don't know what to do with it. You have so much. If you have too much of anything, it's never good, right? But here it's a beautiful thing that you're showing that Hashem gives you so much blessing in your life. It's almost like it's a burden. Like if a person, let me give you an example, okay? If someone would bring you in stacks and stacks of cash, stacks, right? And they say, okay, now you sit there and you count it, right? And you can have everything you count. You're going to count, but then sooner or later you go, whoa, what is it? I know I'm in the habit, I understand, but it's a lot. It's a lot. So you have so much blessing, it's a burden.
Yeah.
But it's really blessing.
Yeah.
Like when Hashem spoke at Har Sinai, they couldn't get it. Is that like that?
When Hashem spoke at Har Sinai, that was we were so scared. Our neshamas left us, and we got thrown back 600 mil.
Yeah.
Right, we got thrown back
Yeah.
because we were so scared of Hashem.
Yeah.
Because again, we came to a level of appreciation of Hashem, and then Hashem opens up the heavens, and He reveals something that no one else ever saw.
Yeah.
We saw it, and then we heard the voice of Hashem, whatever that means, and the shofar. Right, the shofar was going. The shofar, Hashem's voice, seeing what we saw, the thunder going on.
Yeah.
Wow! Right, we learned Rabbi Nachman teach us the whole thing about thunder.
Yeah.
Right, in the mind, the thunder in the mind. When we daven and we say the words loud, we make a thunder in the mind, and it causes the rain. The mitra, it causes the rain to come down into the heart.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So the thing about die, yes, die. Shakai, yes, die.
Yeah. So Yoim Elohim die. That's the way the word Shaka name Hashem came in.
That's right. So it's a limit. When you get all this blessing, is shefa.
Yeah.
And you need a limit to shefa. Die. That's why it's a burden in a way that is you need limit the shefa just to understand it.
Understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's die.
No, but it's so much. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Hashem gives us so much.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's a burden, like David. It's a burden,
Yeah.
but you
need a limit.
these kind of burdens we don't mind, right?
You need a limit. Sorry.
No, but we say,
Rain is very productive. Rain is very
depends. Yoreh Malkosh is productive. Right, we say in the Kriya Shema, right? Yoreh Malkosh, when you have the soft rains and the rains that are beneficial. But if you have rain that you have a downpour, so you see people get these landslides and different things. It's no good. Mida, everything has to be b'mida.
Die.
Yeah. No, you're right. So we're saying so amazing over here. So the person feels so much when he has a nava that he even is mavayish to do a mitzvah. He feels a busha to do a mitzvah because ish kamaini me, I could do a mitzvah. How can I do a mitzvah? I know all these things I was involved with. Wow, and I can still do a mitzvah. Yes, because again, we said yesterday we were learning about taking food in one's mouth. They have a busha, right? Yeah. We're doing Hilchos Tefillin. We're in Halacha Vav Lamed Aleph. So we were learning a little bit about Purim also, right? The Suda Purim, right? The Suda Purim. What was the whole beautiful thing about the Suda Purim? When we had the Suda Purim, And we'd have to eat. We have to eat. But we have the tinus before. Why do we have the tinus before? Because the whole point of the tinus is to do tshuva. Right? That's what we learn. The whole point of the tinus, the fast, is to do tshuva. So when you do, so that way I can eat, I don't have to have the embarrassment. Because if I have the sin, and I think, wow, there's all these souls in the food, all this stuff that's in the food, and I'm going to eat, take this into me, and so to say, contaminate it? Right? If a person's real with themselves and they know who they really are, and they understand that they have the sin, whatever, but then they're embarrassed, right? But again, when they do tshuva, so then you fix that. You don't have to be embarrassed anymore. Isn't that an amazing idea? Right? So the whole thing is tshuva. And an anav is always going to be doing tshuva. So then he'll be able to do the mitzvah. He'll have the embarrassment, but then he makes tshuva. He'll think of this. Mordechai, you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fine.
You didn't do that?
No, it's a,
No? In your back?
for a story, they talk about uvula. So every once in a while.
Okay.
Okay.
That's they're being attacking the eating from the Suda Sabach and
Yeah. We learn. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. No, today when we eat the Suda, now, that we're making a tikkun on them, but it's also, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says that you can have your food, you don't have to be embarrassed
have
anymore.
your food and eat it too.
And enjoy it. And you don't have to be embarrassed. You don't have to be embarrassed. What a concept to understand. You're supposed to be embarrassed when you're eating.
Yeah.
Go tell that when they go to the fancy restaurant, you'll be...
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah, there was some guys that, I don't know if you know, there was some guys in New York, they went upstate, they went to some fancy restaurant, 10 guys went and they spent $7,000 on a meal. 10 guys. 10 guys sat there and they spent $7,000 on a meal. You believe it? Where was the busha?
This is kosher guys.
Yeah, kosher. Yeah, kosher. $7,000 for 10 guys. $700 for each person.
Yeah.
Well, something like that. Maybe one had 600, one 800, whatever. But wow. I mean, that's enough money for a month. Right? You can have at least.
It depends on the country. It's more than that.
No, but $700 you could do pretty good.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Okay. Vafilu lo haishit hamachol lepiv. Then the whole thing is again tshuva. When we make tshuva, we don't have to be embarrassed to do mitzvahs. We can do mitzvahs besimcha. That's the whole point. To do the mitzvah besimcha, it makes a whole different thing, right?
Yeah,
when you do the mitzvah besimcha, you give it the wings, you give it the joy, and it can take off. It can go somewhere. Yeah, the Baal Shem Tov one time came to a shul with his chevra, right? With his holy chevra. And the Baal Shem Tov was standing outside the shul. And they said, let's go daven. So the Baal Shem Tov said, I can't go in. They said, why? He said, the shul's full. It's full. And they said, but Rebbe, the shul's empty, there's no one there. No, the shul's full with tefillah. The shul's full with prayers. Prayers that never went anywhere. It's stuffed. The shul's stuffed. I can't go in.
Yeah.
Could you believe that? The Baal Shem Tov says, I can't go into the shul because it's packed. I can't go in.
Yeah.
There was no one there. The tefillah was there. Because they did. That sensitivity.
To Kedusha.
Could you imagine how the Baal Shem HaKadosh, what he was able to see? Unreal. The Rebbe's great-grandfather, right? Right, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, right?
There's some apples.
Yeah. I'll tell you a cute story. I want to tell you a cute story.
Some families.
What?
Some families.
About 15 years ago, I went on a trip with some guys to the Kivrei Tzaddikim. I used to take whatever. I did that for a couple of years. Baruch Hashem. So we were by the Baal Shem Tov. So there's some of the Hasidim over there. They said to me, "Bly by uns for Rosh Hashanah. Stay by us over here by Rosh Hashanah." So I said, "No, ich gehe zum Uman. I'm going to Uman to be by the Rebbe." They said, "No, but this is the Zayda. Stay by the Zayda." So I said to them like this. I said, "Listen, you come with me to Uman. You know why? We want to give the Zaydi a lot of nachas. You want to give the Zaydi a lot of nachas. Could you imagine how much nachas the Baal Shem Tov has, that he has a great-grandson like Rabbi Nachman? And we all go to Rabbi Nachman, we give the grandfather so much more nachas.
I had one experience coming here to the Tzion, and it felt like I was at Zaydi's house.
Yeah.
Because kids are coming in. It wasn't during Rosh Hashanah. Kids were coming in. They're putting their bikes down. They're running around. It's Zaydi's house.
Yeah, no, but right, but in this aspect, that was the Zayd. They wanted to stay in there. But here, with just the realize, you go to the grandson, the great grandson's house, you give nachas to the grandfather.
Sure.
Wow! So I said, you come with us.
Yeah.
No, they don't want to go.
Yeah.
No, but really to understand the beauty of the Rebbe. Wow. Wow. Look at this teaching over here. This is Chai Olam Haba. This is Chai. When we come to joy, when we come to do tshuva, when we come to be able to do the mitzvahs, to eat and to do mitzvahs, besimcha, that's Olam Haba. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Shehi bechinas anova mitas. That's true anova. True anova is when it leads you to this. When it leads a person to tshuva. When it leads a person to simcha, that's true anova. That's how you know if it's true anova.
Mm-hmm.
True humility. If the humility brings a person to depression, that's not true humility. But humility can bring a person to simcha, to tshuva, that's the best. Right? And then we learned here the gaiva that you have to have, because we said that really the anova and the gaiva are one midah. They're really one midah. So
The same point.
right. They're the same thing, but Rav Nosson is trying to drive this into our heads because it's really hard for us to understand. To us, arrogance and humility, they're two sides, they're the opposite ends of the room. They're not the, how can it be the same? But it is the same, because you have to know when to use the humility, know when to use the arrogance to complement one another. Right? We gave the examples, right? We gave the example with Mordechai and Haman, right? Mordechai was truly a humble person. So he had the arrogance against Haman. I'm not going to bow down to you. He was the only one. He was the only one. He was the Tzaddik. He was the only one that said, I'm not going to bow down to you. That was arrogance. Think about it, right? Because he could have just said, listen, okay, I don't want to make trouble for everybody else, so I'll just bow down to him and everything will be okay. No, he says, I can't do that. It's going against my connection to Hashem. I can't bow down to an idol. Haman made himself into an idol, right? And he wore it. They said, the Medrash said he wore some kind of an idol on his neck. He had whatever, who knows, whatever. Or he made himself into an, either one, it makes no difference. Bow down to him. No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But look what Mordechai was able to do for us. Unbelievable. Okay.
I feel like I'm the one doing that when you say that.
You feel like you're doing what?
When you're talking about Mordechai.
Well, you are.
Yeah, you were also Mordechai. Well, you have one advantage over Mordechai. He wasn't a Kohen.
Well,
But like
That's-
he sat
that's
outside the
Midrash.
gate. He sat outside
Mordechai was from Sheva Binyamin. He wasn't a Kohen.
No.
Mordechai was from Sheva Binyamin. He wasn't a
Yeah,
Kohen.
he sat outside the gate. Only Esther Malka was allowed to go into the king. Mordechai sits outside.
Yoshe B'Shar HaMelech. Yoshe B'Shar HaMelech. He's Yoshe B'Shar HaMelech. Yeah, I saw a beautiful medrash on that. You know why Mordechai was Yoshe B'Shar HaMelech? When Esther became the queen, she said to Achashverosh, do you want to be smart like, Nebuchadnezzar, these kings, they were big, important kings. You want to be smart like them? Yeah, sure. Do you need somebody that knows all 70 languages to be part of your security team? You need somebody with 70 languages. He said, oh yeah, okay, do you know anyone like that? Yeah, Mordechai. You see, right after that conversation, when Mordechai Yoshe B'Shar HaMelech, he had a job. That was his job.
Yeah, it was there.
He got his job. He got a job. That's why always he's going back to B'Shar HaMelech. He's always going back to the king's gate. Always to the gate. Why?
That's when he heard about the.
Of course, that's why he was there, so he can hear that. So the whole story was really hinged on that. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's why he was Yoshe B'Shar HaMelech. Did you know that before Pesach?
I know.
No, but you think about it. Now that makes sense, right? That's why he was listening.
Right.
That's why he was listening. He could have been Shar Melech. He could have been doing whatever, but he was listening to what was going on. Unreal, right? When you understand the medrash, when you read the medrash, it makes the whole story. It makes so much, and every time you see that, Mordechai Yosef b'Sharm, and Haman brought him back. He went to the Sharm, always back to the Sharm. And then he went out. B'levush malchus, tcheles v'argomon. Right. He went out with the b'levush malchus, and that really startled us. We learned, right, when Mordechai went out after when Haman was hung. Yeah. And Mordechai went out and he was wearing the royal garments. He had the royal garments on. Everyone was like, wow. It caused the Hetznaitzat Samayach also to all the Jews. Yeah. All the Jews, wow. This guy that was always sitting there with the sackcloth and the ash on him. Now look at this, wow. Yeah. Wow, look what Hashem did. So it caused the Hetznaitzat Samayach to readjust our thinking. So really, he is the tzaddik, and really, we have to work on getting closer to Hashem. Yeah. All through another. Okay, look at this now. Oz b'shas yitzias Mitzrayim shadayin lo zechinu lekabel haTorah. But when we came out of Mitzrayim, we didn't yet have the Torah. We had a few mitzvahs. Hashem gave us a few, but we didn't have the Torah. We didn't get the Torah. We were preparing ourselves. Right, we were going up to 49 days. Counting the Sphira, we're counting the Sphira to get ready for Kabbalah Torah, but we went out of Mitzrayim. We didn't have the Torah yet. Okay, so look at this. In Mitzrayim, Hashem couldn't give us the Torah. The power of the impurity. In Mitzrayim was impossible. The Torah, its antithesis against the Torah. It can't give the Torah in that place. That's the core HaBarzel. Right? The Mitzrayim was the melting pot. The Korah Barzel, the smelting, right? All of the impurity was there. So Hashem took us out of that. Wow. Okay. And therefore the redemption to get out of Mitzrayim was very difficult because we were stuck in there. We were stuck in there. No one was able to go out. Because you can't get out of there. You need to have the resurrection of the dead to get out of that mind frame. Yeah. So Rav Nosson is teaching us really it was Mitzrayim, but it was also that mind frame. You need a Tchias HaMesim to get out of that mind frame that I can't do things, that I can't be successful, and it's not going to. I feel closed in. I feel like it's a boundary. I feel like I'm stuck. Meitzar, Mitzrayim, Meitzar. It's a gvul. It's a boundary. Boy, that's what we feel. It's impossible to have Kabbalah Torah, to appreciate the Torah, unless you have Tchias HaMesim. You have to have a resurrection of the dead. We know that we heard the shofar today, Baruch Hashem, right? And it says, Uri Yeshenim Mishinastem, right? Wake up those sleeping ones from their slumber, from their spiritual slumber, to make us, to bring us back to Tshuva. That's all of all of us. Right? We have to wake us up. And we said, well, why wake us up? Because we said sleep is a shishim of Misa. Right? When they go to sleep, is a 60th of death. Yeah. So that's a Tchias HaMesim. Every morning we get up, we find the Nekuda Tova in ourselves to give us to get us started in the morning. Right? We have to find something good to latch on to. That gives us that thing to resurrect me in the morning, so I can get going. I'm telling you, I need to use this all the time. You know, something like the other day, we slept for an hour and 45. I got up in the morning. Okay, now we got to put this into practice.
Yeah, you need it.
Baruch Hashem.
Yeah.
Right? That's how we. Okay. It's one of the say. You can't have Yetzias Mitzrayim without Kabbalah Torah, and you can't have Kabbalah Torah without Yetzias Mitzrayim. Right? You need one needs the other. So that's why the whole thing to change the mind frame. And then that's why it's in Hilchos Tefillin, because when you look at your Tefillin, right, and you see, wait a second, this was an animal. These things were an animal. It was walking around, it was smelly, really not nice, right? Really. But what's so beautiful is we worked on it. They worked on the hide. They worked on it so much, made it into something so beautiful. That's what we have to do. We have to constantly work on ourselves to make ourselves more beautiful, make ourselves closer to Hashem. And then we can have the Yetzias Mitzrayim. We can go out of that mind, and Tefillin helped me do that. Yes. We said, Riyas B'nei Tzadik, when I see the Tzadik, right? When I see the Beis HaMikdash, I see the Tzadik, it gives me that it's nice Zamayach, right? It helps me to realign my thinking. Things I thought I couldn't do, I realize I could do. Right? I thought I couldn't do his baidus. I realized I could do his baidus. I thought I couldn't say the tikkun haklali. Oh, I could say the tikkun haklali. You know, all the things that I think I can't do. I can be, the guy says, I can't be Mavis Sedra. It takes too long. It takes too long to read the parsha 2 times and the Aramaic, and I don't understand the Aramaic anyway, so like, what's the whole point? The Rebbe says they really need the Aramaic because the Aramaic is making a tikkun for the Lashon HaKodesh, right? Because it helps define it. It helps define it, right? Is that true? Right? Right? Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I had years ago a partner that was Korean. He was a Korean guy, so he told me he knew a little bit of Japanese also. So he said in Japanese they have letters. I don't know any of the letters. I don't know, but he said they also use pictures. So they use a picture to define the word. They put a picture in to really. So that's really for us. That was the muscle for them to help me understand what the Rebbe was saying with Aramaic. The Aramaic is really it defines. It can define the Lashon HaKodesh in a different way because Lashon HaKodesh doesn't have as many root words. Right? We don't have that many shirashim. It's not, so to say, as rich as some of the other languages, right? So when I can use Aramaic to define it, it can help it. Right? And we said that the Aramaic is the thing that makes the tikkun. It really can make the tikkun, right? That's what we have to...
It's uplifting the other languages.
It lifts up all the... Yeah. From all the other languages. Yeah.
It's sort of the Torah about pay for the Torah.
Yeah.
You know,
it's also Bechinat Mordechai.
Yes. You see?
The Shivim
Lashonos. Yeah, the Shivim Lashonos. Okay, now look at this. Now the Rebbe says like this. Okay, V'alkein be'emes haya dava kosher v'kovei miyoy. Raksha Hashem yisbarach v'racham v'chomol aleinu v'hoyer ha'ara nifla shaloi kiseder. This was very, very difficult, this situation. And Hashem gave us something that was not in the kiseder. He took it out of the order because really, Keseder, we have to do the tshuva, we have to have it's not somebody, we have to realign nothing, and then we have to fix ourselves, and then we can come out. But Hashem said, no, we weren't even ready. Hashem just took us out.
Yeah. First mitzvah is of Kiddush HaChodesh.
Yeah.
Which is all about time. It's a mitzvah connected with time.
Time, yeah. Well, we needed Kiddush HaChodesh because we had to Pesach. Right. Pesach. His name is Pesach. we needed, Pesach was on the 15th, right? Yeah. So we needed the Rosh Chodesh to know when the day was going to be. Yeah. That was the first one. Beautiful, right? Oh, thank you. Okay, now, Shezochel is its noitzes hamaychim gedoylim meyoid rak hayedei bechinas re'iyas b'nei Tzadik. How did we get to this noitzes hamaychim? We saw Moshe. Hashem was so insistent that Moshe goes in front of the people. Yeah. Moshe didn't want the job. Right? He's arguing with Hashem for 7 days. Yeah. No, not me. I can't do it. It's not me. I can't. No, because he was mamish under mikol adam. Yeah. So he's talking to Hashem, and he really feels it. He really feels he can't do it. So, but Hashem needed, so to say, because really Hashem doesn't need anything. Yeah. But Hashem wanted us so badly to see the Pnei Tzadik, the face of the Tzadik, in order to help us have that Etznoitzes HaMayach in the Korah Barzel of Mitzrayim. Yeah. We were in that smelting pot of Mitzrayim, but we saw the Tzadik, and that's what changed everything. To see the Tzadik. We learned the other day about Aaron HaKohen, right? He was V'racha v'samach belibo. V'racha v'samach belibo. Aaron saw Moshe Rabbeinu come back from Midian. He came back. He met Aaron, and he told Aaron that I'm the new leader. And Aaron was so happy in his heart. Yeah. He was truly joyful for his brother that his brother was able to come to this level to be the tzaddik. He was truly joyful. And Rav Nosson told us that that's where Aaron got the ability. That's where the kahuna came from. Because he was happy for Moshe Rabbeinu, Rav Nosson says that's where he got the schus to have the kahuna. Not only that, he said that's where we got the schus to come out of Mitzrayim. Not only that, that's where we got the schus of Kabbalah HaTorah, because he was happy for somebody else.
Tzaddik Cohen also says in the same vein about
Yeah.
humility.
Yeah.
Tzaddik Cohen brings that Aaron was so filled with busha over the fact that he was the one with the whole eating of the egel and
Yeah.
He was so filled with busha that as a result of that he was the one who was zochet to light the menorah. Because his level of
Bush was something else. And no, because again, he was so humble.
Yeah.
He was only because he was humble was he really to be able to be happy for his younger brother, right?
Yeah.
Brothers, right? We have the brother rivalry, right? We have the right. So it's sibling, right. But he's the older brother's happy for the younger brother. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's against nature.
Right? It's impossible, right?
I mean, it's not intuitive. It's
Not natural. It's not natural at all.
Siblings love each other, but
Yeah.
they love each other.
Right, they love each other, but
Yeah.
no, but he mamish loved. It's such a beautiful idea, really, Batman.
Yeah.
Okay, Shehu Moshe Rabbeinu. All of a sudden, they saw Moshe Rabbeinu. That was the secret of why Hashem was talking to Moshe and convincing him for 7 days. That's to read the secret of why was really going on, so that way we could see the Tzaddik. And when we see the Tzaddik, that can cause the Hitznitz Amayat, the realignment of our thoughts and everything else. And this to get us out of that Mitzrayim mentality, to be able to allow us to leave. Because who said we were going to leave?
Moshe Rabbeinu.
No. Think about this for a second. If we didn't fix our minds, and now they said to go out, but we were so okay with Mitzrayim, who said we would have left? Maybe we would have stayed there. Hashem does the miracles, kills all the firstborns, everything. Okay, now we got to go. But if we didn't see the Tzaddik and we didn't realign our thinking, we would have thought we're good over here. America's good. It's good. We stay here. It's good.
And even
What is Hashem going to do to get all the Americans to say, you know what, I had enough of this nonsense? Really?
Yeah, because even after they left me,
No, they say Mashiach will come today, and the guys, is living in London, he's living in Paris, they're living in, they have their nice thing. I don't know, I'm okay. I'll go visit Israel sometime. I'll go visit. I'll get a ticket.
And that was the thing, and it wasn't just about taking the Yidden out of the Korah Barzel.
But that mentality, the mentality.
That's taking the Korah Barzel
Out of Yid, yeah.
Because
That's what I was telling you yesterday. I said you tried to go with the Israelis and go with them on their plane with their cigarette, their e-cigarette. I told you you're American. Yeah, you could be an Israeli, but it's a different thing. It's not going to work, right? L'chaim. He's great. This guy is great. Okay, let's see. Okay, Ki b'shas Yitzias Mitzrayim Shadayin lo kiblu asat Torah mimoshe. But when it came to Yitzias Mitzrayim, we didn't yet get the Torah. We were on our way to get the Torah. We were on our way to counting up to get to the Torah. But we didn't yet get the Torah. Rak shekiblu ha'oras hadas v'tzneitz ha'maychim. We only got the idea to change something. We didn't exactly know what we were changing to. We knew that this was not it. We knew this Mitzrayim thing, this is not it. We learned that. We thought it was it. No matter how difficult it was, we were comfortable there because we don't like change.
That's Dayenu though, because it's enough to get you out.
Yeah, wait a second. People don't like change, right? People like to just stay in their thing. The change is difficult. Yeah, right?
Especially in this case, because there were no other slaves. They could live in.
Right, and they had their homes. They had their homes, and they lived in their own neighborhood. They lived in their own neighborhood. They lived in their own neighborhood, right? They had their own little ghetto, right? Right?
And the Egyptians laid off of them.
Right. That's why I'm saying, you have in America, you have all the those little communities, right? And they're very, we're here only Jews, right? We're good over here, right? The guys in Hollywood, Florida, and then Miami Beach, right? We're good over there, right? The 5,000. We're good over here. This is good. I have my little shul, Kaddish, and everything's around the shul. This is good. This is it, right?
Yeah.
That's how people live.
It is very nice.
No, it's nice. It's nice.
Coach is doing a lot of good things for people.
Listen. I love Eish Kodesh. I love Rav Moshe Weinberg. He's my Rebbe Mufak. It's no, but the mentality. Why is Rav Moshe Weinberg still at Eish Kodesh? because he's trying to change everyone's mind frame so he can get out of it with them. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to make this the same idea of Moshe Rabbeinu, Re'iyas Pnei Tzaddik. That's why his name is Moshe Weinberger. He'll kill me for saying that, but it's okay. I'll get in trouble for that, but I don't care.
Erase it.
No, I don't care. No, it's okay, Levi. I love him. He knows it's all good. It's okay. Therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu jumped. He went out of order. Diluk, he jumped over. He made the Kates the end. Really, we're supposed to be there for 400 years, but then we made this calculation from Yitzhak, right? And then we went to 210. Right, beautiful stuff, right? But really we couldn't because we were already at the 49th level, and if we would have gone Chas v'Shalom one more level, we would have gone to the point of no return, right?
When he did reveal, it was way too much voltage.
It was too powerful. It was too powerful.
Rabbeinu had to put a mask on himself.
Ugola miyad, and he took us out miyad. He took us out instantly, miyad, instantly. Really, we had no. It was finished. We were gonna.
It had to be.
It had to be right then. We didn't yet have the Torah.
You know, it's like you and me. The Nefesh called and say, "We're leaving in a week. Get ready."
Oh yeah. We made our Aliyah flight. Yeah.
We were the first one out. We run. Yeah.
No, this is amazing. Reb Chaim Kramer called me up in 2019.
During COVID.
Right, during COVID, he called me up and he said, "This guy wants to. There's a guy, David Rich. He's over there in the Midwest. He's over there, and he help him see if he can get him to Uman." So I said, "Sure." So I called you up, David, right? I called up David, and we tried to get a flight, and we tried to do it, and this and that, but it wasn't working. It just didn't work. It didn't work. Okay, and we stayed in touch a little bit, and then the funniest thing happened was when we came to the airport for the Aliyah. I say to him, "Who is it? Is that David? Is that David?"
We never seen each other.
I never saw him. Reb Chaim, do you remember you called me up in 2020 and you told me to help this guy out, David, to go to Uman?
Yeah.
Remember? So I was working, trying to get him a thing to come in. And then the funniest thing happened. I never met him. I never met David. Right? And then I'm in JFK airport. We're going on the Aliyah flight. And I see this guy sits next to me over there and we were waiting. And I said, "What's your name?" He says, "My name's David Rich." David Rich! We were on the same Aliyah flight.
There's something called hashgacha.
I promise. We have to daven. Oh, okay. All right, so we'll stop now because they have to daven. Okay.